Welcome to the third day of our webinar. So let's start with our presentation with Palak. Palak,
Yes, sir.
you can start your presentation.
Okay, sir. Is it visible?
Palak, open.
Hmm. Hello.
Your screen is visible.
Hello.
Yes, your screen is visible. You can start.
Okay. So, I'm Palak, a student of BSc Forensic Science 5th semester of Golgothia's University, and I'm here to present my topic on forensic psychology and overview, and which is guided by Miss Krupa Nisha. Yes. So let me start about what is just screen. Entire screen is not visible. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Sir, the entire screen is not visible.
Palak, your screen is visible. Kindly share it again, please.
Okay, sir.
Yes, perfect. Start your presentation.
So let's begin with the introduction. What is forensic psychology and what is psychology? In simple words, we can say that psychology is the study of mind and behavior. But if we go on to a better and more scientific term, then it is defined as the science which studies the mental aspects that determines human behavior. Now, what is forensic psychology? Forensic psychology is the interface between psychology and law. It is the production of psychological knowledge and the application to the civil and criminal justice system. What are the scopes of forensic psychology? The first one is federal, state, and local government and facilities, that is prisons, jails, police departments, correction facilities, probation and parole, military, etc. Next is treatment facilities, that is drugs or chemical rehabilitation, strong or long-term residential facilities, counseling centers, mental hospitals, etc. Then court attorney and legal advocacy group, self-employed, private practice and consultant. They can also go in the teaching line, such as the teachers or professors in college or university or any other courses in which is in criminal justice. Now, what are the subfields of forensic psychology? The first one is clinical forensic psychology. In this, people are not suffering from some type of mental problems, but also their issues are of importance to the legal decision making as well. Development psychology deals with elderly and juvenile and law, focuses on policy making rather than treatment with mental problems. Next one is social psychology, which is concerned with how jury interacts and arrive at a group decision. Cognitive psychology is closely associated with subfield but looks more into how people make decisions in legal cases. Another one is criminal investigative psychology, which is police psychology, criminal profiling, and psychological autopsies.
Palak,
Where, yes, sir.
change your slide.
Yes, sir, it's just a minute. Now, insanity. What is insanity? Mental illness of such a severe nature that a person cannot distinguish fantasy from reality, cannot conduct his or her affairs due to psychosis, or is subject to uncomfortable impulsive behavior. There is a law which is called American Law Institute Test for Insanity, in which we test or we get to know that if the person is insane or what type of punishment is to be given to him. In 1962, US rule based as a test of criminal responsibility and stating that an individual accused of a crime is not criminally responsible if at the time of such conduct, as a result of mental disease or defect, the person lacks substantial capacity either to appreciate the wrongful of the conduct or to conform such conduct to the
Palak,
requirement of law. Yes, sir.
change your slide.
Sir, I'm changing. Sir, it is changed now.
No, it's your first slide. Yes.
So, here is a famous case based on insanity, which is of John Hinckley. He shot President Ronald Reagan in front of the television camera but declared not guilty by the reason of insanity and sent to mental institution. Is the background story. He developed an obsession of Jodie Foster, who played a child prostitute in the movie Taxi Driver. He followed her to the Yale University and stalked her for a short time, slipping poems and messages under her door and repeatedly contacting her on her telephone, but he failed to develop meaningful contact with her. He also developed stupid stories such as hijacking an airplane and committing suicide in front of her to gain her attention. Then he assassinated the president in front of media to win her attention, just like the main character of Taxi Driver did, but he failed to kill him. These are some pictures. This is Jodie Foster, and this is Hinckley, and here is what he wrote the letter to him, and this is the assassination of the president that he did. Then on March 30, 1981, Hinckley fired a 0.22 caliber revolver 6 times at President Reagan as he left the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. after addressing a conference. Then many people who were with the president were shot, and many of them died too. All victims survived, but Brady, hit the right side of head, endured a long uh, recuperation period and remained paralyzed on the left side of the body. Then he was charged with 13 offenses and was found not guilty by the reason of insanity on June 21. The defense psychiatric report found him to be insane, while the prosecution report declared him legally insane. Short after his trial, Hinckley wrote that the shooting was the greatest love offering in the history of world, and was upset that Jodie Foster did not reciprocate his love. Now it's detection of deception. What is deception? Deception is basically lie that we generally that we generally lie and to hide something or to do something in our favor. So psychologist defines deception in human as an act that is intended to foster in another person a belief or understanding which the deceiver considers to be false. In simple words, deception is the act or practice of deceiving, lying, misleading, or otherwise hiding or distorting the truth. To detect deception means to detect the presence of mental state in a person. The perfect cure of deception would appear if and only if the mental state is present, like the Pinocchio's growing nose, but it doesn't exist. If anyone had not heard about Pinocchio, so let me tell you, Pinocchio is an animated puppet which is punished for his each lie that he tells by undergoing growth of his nose. But the time he lies, his nose grows, but he did not stop lying. And he used to tell everyone that like people grow fruits and vegetables, I'm growing my nose. Now, what are the motivation of lies? Why do we lie? Lying is a common communication strategy. It is often used to help minimizing cost and maximizing reward in interpersonal communication. It can be adaptive strategy for survival. Some reasons for lying can be to preserve self-image, to protect relationship or someone else's feeling, to impress people and boost reputation, to avoid any fight or conflict and confrontation, to avoid being punished or embarrassed. What are the behavioral signs of dishonesty or deception? It's shifting eyes, fidgeting rapidly, changes in voice, shifting back and forth on feet or in chair, sign of nervousness, exaggerating vision of sincere furrow brow look, action that obscure eyes, face, mouth, running tongue over teeth, leaning forward, inappropriate familiarity, back-slipping, other touching, sweating, shaking, licking lips, fiddling with pen cups, wrinking hands, clear throat, simple, random and repeatedly, speaking, biting lips, chewing nails, becoming silent, pupil dilation, rapid blinking, adapter gesture, short response length, speech errors, speech hesitation, and higher pitch. Now I'll discuss some of the tools and techniques for the detection of deception. The first one is suspect detection system, layered voice analysis, polygraph, narcoanalysis, and brain electrical oscillation signature, which is often called as brain mapping. So let me start with the first one, suspect detection system. It is a screening instrument for airports and crime scene investigation. It is also called automatic polygraph with one hand inserted into a sensor that monitors automatic peripheral nervous system arousal of sweating. The suspect answers the question is displayed on the screen. The system achieves the result as accurate as 4% of false positive and negligible false negative result. It is just a screening tool which is not admissible in court. In this picture, you can see the screen, and you can see here a little mouse type is kept here. Person has to keep his fingers, and this is headphones that he have to wear, and this finger he kept. The sweating is recorded, and so now layered voice analysis. Voice-based lie detection test detects change in our voice provoked by automatic nervous system arousal of voice stress. This is reflected by fluctuation in intensity, frequency, harmonics, and microthermal. Screening instrument used for it is a screening instrument used for military and crime scene investigation. It is not admissible in court, and it can be done both online and offline. In this picture, we can see that the thing we speak is detected, and there is different factors on which these are detected. We can see here, and uh, this is quick profiler where the deception is indicated if it's true or if it's false statement. Next one is polygraph. When we lie, our blood pressure goes up, heart beats fast, we breathe more quickly, and changes take place in our skin mixture. Forensic polygraph is a technique to check deception of truth by subject juxtaposes with veracity of his statement. Polygraphs works on scientific basis that the consciously held feeling of guilt produce a defensive reaction in the form of psychological change in the blood pressure, pulse rate, respiration rate, and in the electrical resistance of skin, which is called GSR, galvanic skin response. The term polygraph refers to the process in which selected psychological activities are recorded. Polygraph is a device for measuring certain involuntary bodily responses such as BP, perspiration, from which an opinion can be drawn as to whether or not the person being tested is telling the truth. Mnemographic tracing system or indicator is the rate and depth of respiration at the time as measured by pneumograph that are in region of stomach or trunk. Next is cardiovascular tracing, and it is measured by blood pressure cuffs. And electrothermal tracing is the test perspiration is through the fingertips. It is an investigating tool and it is also admissible in court. We can see this representation of polygraph. It is multi-channel monitoring and everything is measured. The channel one is electrocutaneous activities, which is in the fingertips, and peripheral cardiovascular activities. Microphone is also kept here. Abdominal breathing is also detected. Central cardiovascular activities is also detected, and chest breathing. And here is a notebook or laptop in which the reaction is recorded. Then narcoanalysis is the technique of detection of deception. Drugs, most commonly barbiturates, is given to the suspect. Other drugs that may be used are benzodiazepines, sodium pentothal, chloral hydrates, etc. Influence of drugs makes suspect inactive. Strong hypnotic drug causes restlessness and slight sleepiness by depressing CNS. The condition is used to detect the truth. Conducted by the whole team that include an anesthesiologist, psychiatrist, forensic psychologist, audio videographer, assistant nursing staff. Before the analysis medical test is done, it may produce harmful effect to hurt a diabetic person. First of all, truth serum is given to the suspect through injection and allow him lay down comfortably. Then the suspect is scientifically hypnotized, due to which heartbeat, blood pressure becomes very low and brain activity reduces. Person loses imagination power, so he is unable to answer in his favor and unable to lie. There should be no stress or pressure or tension in the subject. Relevant question related to the cases are to be asked. Both audio and video should be recorded to show as proof in the courtroom on necessity. It is not only the test results are liable for the suspect to be proven guilty, but also defense may reject it by raising question on his unconsciousness. The last one is brain electrical oscillation signature profiling. This is the technique in which suspect participation in crime detected by electing electrophysiological impulses. It is a tool to measure the changes in electrical activities of brain associated with presence of knowledge provoked by probe when the suspect does not have to answer the response. There is a screen in front of the person, and the individual has to just see the pictures or any word related to the crime or related to the offense is shown, and he react if that is if he is familiar with that. So if it is known or familiar, then it will trigger neuron of brain and it is detected. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Palak.